Okay guys, so today I wanted to focus on this Brazilian spinach. Now this is something that I started growing last year just kind of as a trial to see how well it done in the aquaponics and really kind of how well that I would like it. And as you can see, it has really completely filled in this entire gravel portion of the biofilter here. This thing is completely in the shade all day long, and this stuff has really done well. It's got a real mild flavor. And it's one that I really like. I don't like a lot of greens. I'm more of a fruit and vegetable guy. I don't eat a lot of greens. But this stuff is really mild. It really tastes good. It's really productive. It really grows well in this aquaponic system. It loves the water. It loves the shade. So it's perfect to put in these gravel grow beds. And the thing about it is the way it propagates is it roots itself anywhere that it's going to touch the ground or the gravel. It's going to put out roots from the stem, as you can see right there. And all you have to do to kind of keep it going year after year is in the fall you take a lot of these cuttings and then you can take them to the house, keep it in the house during the winter, and then in the springtime you can bring it back out, put the cuttings in your aquaponic system, and just keep growing it over and over and over. It doesn't go to seed, so it needs that propagation to be able to continue to grow. But something I really like growing here. It does fantastic in aquaponic systems. So I thought I'd show you that and kind of explain what that stuff is. It's growing right in the biofilter itself, just on the gravel side. On this side I have the water area where there's the fish are in here. And what I did was I put all the larger bluegill in this one tank, or this one filter, and then I put all the smaller stuff in the other, just to keep anybody from eating each other or anything like that. Those guys are way in the back. I don't think you can see them real well. There's about 8 or 10 of them in here. They've done real well in here all summer. The water, like I said, it stays in the shade, so it stays really cool. The algae doesn't grow up, so it's crystal clear. This biofilter is the same way. It's got Brazilian spinach in it. And I took a tomato cutting and put in here. The tomato's really long and lanky because it's in the shade, but you can see where I've picked all the tomatoes off of it. So it did produce some tomatoes. Here's the other biofilter that has all the smaller fish in it. This has all of the freshwater mussels, the mosquito fish, the smaller bluegill, the tadpoles that haven't turned into bullfrogs. All that stuff is done really well. And as far as the tomatoes go, they're pretty much done. These are determinate type tomatoes, so they only grow a certain height. They're going to put on all their fruit at once, and then they're going to die back. So all of them have pretty much completed their life cycle. I have been coming up here and eating as much of these as I can, but we couldn't keep up with them. And this system was designed to produce a lot of tomatoes that I was going to take to market and sell at the farmer's market this year. But our plans ended up changing. I took a job in town, and I just didn't have time to take anything to the market. So we just been eating off of this ourselves. Of course, it way outproduced what we could consume ourselves, but the deer got a lot of these tomatoes. I eat quite a few of them myself. But as far as the rest of the system goes, it's pretty much done now. I'm going to get in here in the next few weeks when it starts cooling down a little bit outside and get this thing cleaned up and start kind of shutting it down for the year. But everything went as expected. Everything produced really well. You can see this plant. That plant right there has a ton of tomatoes on it. And I'm really ashamed of myself for letting this go the way I did. I just don't have the time to devote to it anymore since I took that job in town, and I kind of let this thing go. And a lot of these tomatoes are going to waste right now, but I'm really happy the way it turned out. And we may do some redesigning for next year's system. I've got some ideas for what I want to change, what I didn't like about this year's system, what I did like about it. And there's a few things that I am going to change to make it better next year. And hopefully I'll have a little bit more time to actually come in here and harvest this stuff and actually get it to market where I can maybe start making some money off this thing. But anyway, there's a little bit of an update on the aquaponic system. Like I said, the Brazilian spinach, that's something you might look at and try. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll be back